This video is sponsored by Squarespace, which I use to make my photography portfolio and my blog. Hello, my name is Patrice. I am 19 years old and I only have a couple months left to use the clickbaity as a teenager in my video title, so I am making the most of it. In this video, I want to explain exactly how I, a teenager, have made money both online and in the real world. Money is often a weird and uncomfortable topic, and I think it should be less of that. I got a comment on my how I started a photography business video where someone basically said that in order to try and make easy YouTube money, I was revealing the insider photography secrets and making it more difficult for current established photographers. And ooh, that comment really got me worked up. At first, I didn't really understand why I had such a strong reaction to it. It wasn't until I typed out like this 5-point argument that I realized how strongly I believe in the concept that I think Jessica Whitaker in her Build and Bloom Facebook group for photographers called it collaboration over competition or something like that. I think it is really freaking cool that we live in an age where it's possible to make money doing what you love with a computer and an internet connection, but I also think that it's relatively new and there's a lot of misconceptions about it. So my experience won't be representative of the experiences of all content creators out there, but my goal with this video is to sort of add my experience to the data pool in order to empower other young people to start building something and cultivating their passions as early as possible. So let's get started. It's time for Bliss Business School. So the first work experiences that I had, let's pretend I'm writing a resume. I did some babysitting, but I'm not the biggest fan of kids, so that was kind of draining and not the best match for me. I did an unpaid communications internship with my school district, which was super aligned with what I was interested in, so that was great. My first experience with making money for myself was with photography. So I have a whole video on how I started my photography business, which has received some pretty rave reviews, if I may toot my own horn. So if you want a very honest, simple, step-by-step perspective of how to make some money doing photography, especially in this modern social media age, and also especially if you want to do senior portraits, I definitely recommend watching that. Basically though, a friend of mine asked me if I did senior portraits because she knew that I liked taking photos and had a nice-ish camera. I had never taken senior portraits, but I told her I was willing to try. I ended up just doing like a practice shoot for fun with her, and I realized I really like doing portrait photography. Now looking back on those photos, they're kind of trash, but as I was editing them, I was like, wow, this is pretty good. I think I could do this and get paid for it. So I did some practice shoots and I started professionally, officially taking photos the summer before my senior year. I registered my business. I had the system for keeping track of clients. I was mainly doing senior portraits, but I also did some family and some couples photos, and I was really enjoying it. Not just the photography, but also the business side of things. I love feeling independent and just like I was running the whole show. So I did that for like 2.5 seasons. I did do some senior portrait sessions this year. I think I did like 12, but honestly the spark was just kind of gone for me because at this point YouTube is a much better creative outlet for me, and I was getting really sick of basically taking the same photos over and over again. So I have put the photography business on pause, but it was really great while it lasted, and I'm very, very grateful for that experience. How much can you make doing photography? Obviously a lot of factors are involved, like how good you are, how long you've been doing it, and also where you live. In my photography video, I explained how I set my prices in the beginning and then how I gradually increased them over time as I got better. I wasn't the best at keeping track of my finances at this point because this was really my first experience like doing any sort of freelancing, but I was able to dig up a spreadsheet of my September to December 2019 expenses and income. So I was taking photos from September to November. During that time period, I made $3,235 from photo shoots and 2 video projects, and I spent about $200 on parking, permits, equipment rentals, website hosting, things like that. Thank you so much to Squarespace for sponsoring this video and for helping me to run my photography business. At first I was super scattered, so my Instagram was my only portfolio. I kept track of clients in a note on my notes app, and I literally just communicated through DMs. When I was ready to get serious though, I used Squarespace to create this beautiful professional website for myself. If you really want to get serious about photography and show people that you are a serious photographer who is organized and is going to get the job done, then I think having a website is essential. channel. My website is where I displayed my portfolio, featured testimonials, gave people a way to contact me. The frequently asked questions page saved a ton of time and back and forth messaging, and probably most importantly, I had all of my offerings explained in a super simple way. All of this was ridiculously easy because Squarespace has these pre-made pages and drag and drop buildings, so you can effortlessly put in a contact form, you can put in a gallery page. You definitely don't need any coding to do this stuff. I was able to get it done really quickly so that I could actually get back to taking photos, and I knew my website was out there doing the work for me while I was busy taking photos. You can head to the link in my description and get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. I'll make this a separate category, but I have also done some freelance work outside of just photography. It's not something that I advertise, but once in a while, some sort of a project will just float my way through personal connections. So I've done a website and branding for a small business for my former art teacher's family. I did branding and thumbnails for a YouTuber who just stumbled across my channel, basically. I did a video for a local hospital where my former principal's wife contacted my former video teacher and he recommended me. So I think getting involved in your school and your community in any way that you can is really important. I don't really know how networking works. It's probably something I'll have to learn at one point or another, but basically my version of networking in high school was doing that media internship, taking photo and video classes, being involved in the newspaper and the school news, going for leadership positions, and just trying to do my best and make a good impression on people in everything that I did. Okay, so now let's talk about how I make my main chunk of change. Blogging or YouTube is not really something I would recommend starting just for the money. I think you really have to be interested in what you're doing because it will take a while to build up your channel, build up your blog to a point where you can monetize it. Obviously, the timeline is different for everyone, and maybe your first video will go viral and you'll just be set. But for me, I started blogging in July 2017. I started my YouTube channel in April 2018, and then I didn't get monetized until June of 2019. And I didn't really start making enough money to where I felt like I could call it my job until like March 2020. So it's been a journey. Chris, whose last name I really do not want to butcher, so I'll just put it up on the screen, has this fantastic piece on how he was able to grow a blog to the point where he was making the median income for his city through writing in 276 days. I highly recommend checking that out, whether you want to write a blog, do YouTube videos, or just any kind of business where the internet is involved, like if you are an artist trying to market yourself online, for example. He does a really good job of explaining how it is that someone goes from putting stuff out there for free to actually bringing in some dollars through what you're doing. So there are 4 main income streams under my blogging umbrella, and I would say this is pretty much what everyone has. You've got digital products, sponsored content, AdSense, and affiliate links. Active income means you have to do work for the money. Passive income means you invest initial time and effort into it, but after that, it takes little to no effort to keep it coming. So digital products, wait, was it here? Digital products are generally passive income. I have one at the moment, which is the 21 Days to Productive Flow video email course with workbook that I created. I mainly market it through my email list, and that's totally automatic. Once in a while, I just answer a question for someone or like fix something that goes wrong with the email software. So I pretty much don't have to do anything for it at this point. In August, I made $1,033 from that, and in July, I made $585, so it really varies a lot. The next category is sponsored content, and in the videos that I've watched from other YouTubers explaining their income streams, it seems to me that this is generally the largest one. So sponsored content is when I work with a company to promote something for them by integrating it into a video and or social media posts. When I started on YouTube, I thought that I would have to do all the legwork of reaching out to companies and pitching my channel to them, but really they kind of just start coming to you. At first it's an email here or there, and then it starts flooding your inbox, and I would say like 80% of it is just spam. And so at that point you have to look through and pick out the few that might actually be good opportunities for your channel. So if it looks like it was just a copy and pasted email and they didn't even bother to learn my name, or they said like, "Hi blogger," that generally goes right in the trash. Every time I put this word in my script, I always forget to look up how to say it. I'm gonna go with niche. So if you're a niche channel, it might be different. Like if you're a travel channel, maybe you reach out to a hotel in some place that you're traveling to, or maybe you review like camera equipment, and so then you would reach out to a specific camera company whose products you want to review. But I would say for the most part, especially if your channel is more of a general lifestyle channel like mine is, opportunities will just start coming to you once you've built up enough of a following. Just make sure to put your email somewhere like in the description or in your YouTube about page. One thing you should prepare when you're ready to start doing sponsorships is a media kit, and Michelle B has a really good video on how to do that. Basically, it includes what your channel is about, your analytics, your rates, and what you can offer to companies, maybe some testimonials from companies you've worked with in the past. For me, how much I get from sponsorships varies a lot. So currently it falls in the range of $350 to $1,000, which is a big range. And I don't know which end of that range is more in line with what other YouTubers are getting. This is one of the reasons I'm making a video like this, and I like to watch other people's videos about this because I feel like we just don't know much about how this whole YouTube thing works. And so it's hard to figure out the value of our work. And I've heard stories about people basically being extremely undervalued because they didn't know that they could ask for more, and so they were being paid way less than other content creators. So yeah, sponsorships are probably the most confusing part of all of this for me. Alright, so ad revenue is the cut of money that YouTube so generally shares with me from the revenue that they earn when someone watches the ad before the video. In some of these kinds of videos that I've watched, I feel like people tend to downplay the AdSense side of things. They'll be like, oh, it's not my main source of income. It's not the biggest piece of the pie. But I think we have to remember that it's passive income. So like you could go on vacation for a week and not touch your YouTube channel at all, but views would still be coming in and AdSense money would still be coming in without you doing anything. And that goes a long way toward reducing the amount of pressure that you feel to constantly be producing videos and seeking out sponsors for those videos. So how much do you actually get from those little ads before the videos? I actually had to do research on this because I had no idea what some of these acronyms meant. So let me share the knowledge that I've gained with you. CPM is cost per 1,000 views, and that's how much an advertiser will pay YouTube to get their ad viewed 1,000 times. The average CPM is about $6 to $8, and that depends on where you live, how advertiser friendly your content is, things like that. You do not get all of this money, you get how much YouTube decides to give to you. So RPM is how much your channel gets per 1,000 views. This is after YouTube takes their cuts, and this also takes into account the videos on your channel that aren't monetized for whatever reason. So this number will obviously be significantly lower. So with all that taken into consideration, from AdSense in August, I made $1,433. In July, I made $1,150, and that number has been increasing steadily and hopefully continues to do so. I don't know, maybe it won't. Okay, finally, affiliate links. An affiliate link is a special customized link that you share with your audience, and whatever they purchase using that link, you get a small percentage of it. I share affiliate links in my video descriptions, in my Instagram stories, and my newsletter. I actually had never taken the time to properly total up this number because I think this is the one that's hardest to keep track of. AdSense is like one number that shows up in your bank account every month. Affiliate stuff is like, but I did sit down to do the math, and in August, if I counted correctly, I think I made about $552 from affiliate links. So let's make a fun little pie chart. Now keep in mind that sometimes it is months after you upload the video that you actually get the payout from a sponsorship, but let's just pretend that we live in a world where the day that you click publish is the day that you get the money. So if you add everything up, in total in August, I made $4,570. Now there are expenses too. It's definitely way less than the expenses for a physical business. Like, I don't think anyone's taking out a business loan to start a YouTube channel, but it's not free. So there are some one-time purchases. This year especially, I made some big purchases because a lot of my equipment was aging and I felt like it was a good time to kind of up level. So I got a new laptop, a new camera, a special freaking XQD card for that camera, which was so annoying. This special adapter because Apple said, no, you don't get to have an SD card reader. You don't get to plug USBs directly into your computer. You're gonna suffer if you want a thinner, lighter computer. And then some of my recurring purchases. So I spent $46 a month for the Squarespace commerce plan, which you need in order to sell products. I spent $179 to send out my weekly newsletter. Before I started my newsletter, I remember I got an email from this one newsletter that I was subscribed to, and it basically said, hey, noticed you haven't been opening these emails. If you want to keep receiving them, click this link, otherwise we'll automatically unsubscribe you in a week. And I was just like, why? Why would you do that? Why would you not want to have a bigger audience? Like, why would I DM someone on Instagram and be like, hey, I noticed you haven't been liking my posts. Do you want to unfollow me? Otherwise, if you don't respond, I can just block you and save you the time and the trouble. And then when my email list started growing, I realized, oh, you have to pay depending on how many subscribers you have. So yeah, I do use my email list to promote my course a little bit. I include affiliate links once in a while, but in general, it doesn't have that much return. For me, my newsletter is more of a way to provide some more free value to my audience, connect with them, keep them updated, and almost like remind them every Monday that I exist and don't you dare forget about me. I pay $20 a year for my domain, $10.54 a month for Adobe Photoshop and Lightroom, about $6 a month for Vimeo paid annually, $15 a month for TubeBuddy paid annually. So yeah, the expenses aren't that much, but there are some, so I thought I would tell you about them. And then of course there's taxes on top of all that. Again, Squarespace has been essential to my blog as well. I started my blog on Squarespace all the way back in 2017, and then when I released my product, I upgraded my Squarespace subscription so that I could access their commerce features. They made it so easy to create a sales page, set up a product, upload the digital file, and accept payments through Stripe and PayPal, so it really grows with you. When you just start out, even if you do envision yourself selling something in the future, I would say just start with a blog. Start by adding value to people's lives and growing an audience before you offer them something more. You have to build that trust and that relationship first. So is it too late to start a YouTube channel? No, I don't think so. I remember when I was starting out on YouTube, I thought I was too late to the game because I saw all these videos with titles like, is it too late to start a YouTube channel in 2018? And I didn't watch any of those videos because I was afraid they would tell me that, yes, I was too late. But guess what? People make those videos every single year. There is a, is it too late to start a YouTube channel in 2020? And there will be a, is it too late to start a YouTube channel in 2021? As long as YouTube as a platform is doing well, which I think it is, I don't think it's too late to start a YouTube channel in the sense that, oh, there's already so many YouTube channels out there, like what am I doing adding one more to the millions that are out there? But you have a unique voice and there are bound to be people out there who want to hear it. The YouTubers that I watched didn't start out when YouTube first began. They as well could have very easily said like, oh, there's already so many channels out there, why would I bother starting my own? But I'm so glad they did because I love the videos they make and I love the unique perspectives that they share. What I wouldn't do is put all of my eggs into one basket and only make YouTube videos, because if YouTube were to close their doors for whatever reason, I would be screwed. But I do have my newsletter audience, my Instagram audience, and I'm trying to branch out into other things as well, so it wouldn't be like all of my ties with my audience would be severed. So yeah, that's it for this video. Please take this knowledge and do something with it. Squarespace is the perfect place to start whatever project you've been dreaming about, so head to the link in the description and get 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. It was 2 years before I made any money from my blog, but my gosh, was it worth it, because now I get to basically make money doing something that I love, and I hope that you guys can do that as well. I hope I don't get any angry messages saying that I'm revealing all the YouTube secrets and revealing how much money a person can make with a YouTube channel. Positive, empowering comments in the comment section only. So thank you so much for watching this video, and for the 0.2 of a cent I probably earned from you watching the ad that came before it, give this video a like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next week. Bye!